Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler, and again, thanks for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it, and it is now time for another edition of Tech Briefs, where we recap some of the biggest stories in technology in about 10 minutes. And today, I am joined by our guest co-host, Lisa Marie Segarra. Lisa Marie, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing good. I'm glad to have you here today. So we've got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time. So starting off, let's go to this Apple Epic Games fight that has been going on now for a couple of weeks. So kind of let's recap a little bit of it for everybody. Like Fortnite, obviously not in the App Store right now. There's lawsuits pending against Apple and Google. And Apple started off this week, at least with revelations from some of the lawsuits, fighting hard by alluding to the fact that they could suspend Unreal Games from being used, or Unreal Engine, excuse me, from being used by Epic Games, which would mean other apps could be affected by it, other games could be affected by it. But a judge ruled that Apple can't do that. They can't take Unreal Engine out, but they can keep Fortnite out. And so that's a huge move right there. And, for you, especially being our gaming editor, I wanted to talk to you about this. How does this affect Fortnite users? Do you think this is something that's really going to make a big difference for Epic Games?
So I think if it were 2017, yes, absolutely. But at this point, Fortnite is so big that I just don't see it being the same issue. So around 2017, it was like the world woke up to Fortnite. Like every kid was playing it, and then all of a sudden their parents actually figured out what on earth they were playing. But now we live in a post 2017 Fortnite world. Like SNL already knows about it, so it's not that hard to pick it up. And that's the real advantage of mobile. It's that it's super accessible. But now that everyone already knows it, it's already the place to be because your friends are on there. There are concerts in there. You can just pick it up on a computer, like any gaming device. It's so ubiquitous now that I don't think it's really going to hurt Epic as much as it's going to hurt the App Store. And similarly, Epic isn't the only one that has had a bone to pick with the App Store. And, it is also Google Play. But, Spotify also removed subscriptions from the App Store, so you can't actually get in-app purchases. Because if I get a Spotify subscription, for example, on their website, Spotify gets all of that. But if I do it through my phone, then Apple suddenly gets part of that. And Spotify is like, I don't like that too much. And, similarly, Epic kind of circumvented the Google Play Store. So it's not unheard of that they are coming back with this issue. And now that they have a lot more power, a lot more users, especially in quarantine, everyone is on Fortnite. They're so big that they have two versions. There's the Hangout version and the competitive playing side that they're saying, okay, now we're using that power. And we don't want to give 30% of our profits to Apple and Google when they're just there. It wouldn't happen on the Switch,
Right.
for example. So
Yeah.
I think it really hurts Apple way more.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing all these other companies now too, start to pick at it. Like you mentioned a few of them there. Facebook also today talking about some issues that they have because they have their business events that I guess you can promote business events on there, and they're not taking any cut of what the tickets sales are. But they had to put a note on there that said Apple will take 30%, and then Apple blocked that app from the store. So now they're going back and forth. It's a huge thing. I think until this lawsuit with Epic plays out, that's really going to be the ultimate thing to figure out what happens. But it's these two sides are going to keep on battling. Definitely a huge story. I'm sure it'll be part of next week's topics as well. Going from that, another big topic that's been trending for a while now is TikTok. And that is more news coming out from them. This week in particular, they're kind of counting down the days. I believe it's November 12th is the deadline that they have to be sold, but it sounds like it's going to be sooner than that because they extended it to the 90 days. But the CEO, Kevin Mayer, stepped down. Kind of understandably, this was probably not part of what he signed on for. It was a battle with the government to run this company. They also released some statistics saying 100 million monthly users in the US and 50 million daily users. So that's a lot. And now with this impending sale, we're hearing a lot more about what it's going to be valued and what some of these deals are. And it's interesting people partnering up. The latest is Microsoft and Walmart apparently partnering for their offer. And then you've got Oracle that allegedly came out with, I believe it was like $20 to $30 billion, but also would split the profits with ByteDance, the parent owner. It's just getting wild right now. How do you see this playing out? Like, who do you think is going to win?
Oh man, I mean, TikTok ends up winning no matter what, don't they? I mean, it's funny when you think
Yeah.
about it because it was crazy when Instagram sold to Facebook for 1 billion. Now that is out the window. Like that looks like chump change now, and that's Instagram we're talking about, right? So, no matter what, TikTok as a whole really wins. I'm also not shocked that Microsoft needed a partner. Once it happened, I was like, oh, that makes sense. I almost wonder if, especially with quarantine, again, so many people have started using TikTok or using it more often. I mean, myself included, if I'm being honest, that, TikTok went back and said, okay, actually, your valuation doesn't hold up. We're going to need some more money. And you want this and we want this. So let's make this happen. And that's where you enter Walmart, which seems super weird. I mean, it's kind of like TikTok, Walmart, and Microsoft enter a bar, and now they're all the same thing. But
Right?
when you think about the sales and like marketing, it's not shocking.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wants a piece of that user data. I mean, I think that the 100 million monthly users in the US alone, and they would be buying like Canada and I think it's Australia and New Zealand operations too, so throw in however many extra millions there, but it's just how valuable that user data is. You also have to wonder with that 20 to 30 billion dollars or more, whatever they're going to get, what's that going to do to all their competitors? Like Triller's probably stoked about that because that's just got to bump up what their value is or any of the competitors. So it's crazy. They do think though the one other thing is that the sale could happen next week, go through. So again, expect a lot of information about that. And we've got the whole wrap up of the entire soap opera at digitaltrends.com. You can follow along with. And going to our third topic, bringing Microsoft back again, we do have some hardware this week, at least as far as people being able to get their hands on it and finally see it in person. That's the Microsoft Surface Duo. And by people, I mean a few journalists. So Jeremy Kaplan, our editor-in-chief, got to finally touch this thing. This is the two-screened phone. But it's two screens completely just connected by a hinge. They don't attempt to do a foldable screen like Samsung. They look at this more, it seems to be marketed more as like a work device, like something that you're going to be using for that kind of purpose, a little bit of entertainment, but they're looking at it kind of that way. What do you think about these kind of foldable devices and maybe this one in particular?
Yeah, I think I hate it. So it's really funny, and especially like in the video playing, you see like using it like a DS or 3DS, but also like a tablet, but also like a book. I'm just like, wow, they're really just throwing everything at the wall. I feel like phone technology has gotten to a point where there was so much innovation when we think about like 2011 and Siri, the front-facing camera, and that like changed the game. We were like, video phones are real now, and different security measures. And now I feel like, okay, let's add a fifth camera. Like nothing is really interesting anymore. And so now we have different things, and we're kind of reaching this weird period in innovation where I think that when we look back in 5 to 10 years, we're going to be like, what was up with that notch thing? What was up with that folding phone trend? It's kind of like, post HD, like there wasn't a lot of innovation in televisions before that. And then you had standard definition, and they got bigger and smaller, and then they had flat screen standard definition, but then HD really changed everything. You had different types. They were getting smaller and thinner, and you could put it on your, wall more easily. But then after that, they were like curved TVs. 3D TVs? I don't know. What do we do here? And I feel like we're really much in that space with phones now. And I just think that, I mean, I like to see innovation. I'm not going to that. I'd rather see companies trying something. But at the same time, it's $1,400, and that's a lot to pay for an experiment, basically.
Yeah, $1,400 is a lot, but that's a bold statement. So basically, you're saying foldable phones are the 3D televisions of now.
Yeah, I mean, oh, I hate it. I feel like tablets are the in-between of phones and computers, and foldable phones are the in-between of an in-between, like between tablets and phones. Like, why? Who is this for? And we say like work, but I don't want to work on a phone. I don't want to work on anything smaller than a tablet as it is. People already have issues working on tablets and still mostly prefer laptops. So why would we think, you know what? less keyboard, less mouse, less screen space, that's going to change it. It just doesn't make sense to me.
All right. Well, we've got our details and Jeremy's unboxing video too at digitaltrends.com. You can go take a look at that for the Microsoft Surface Duo. And you're right, $1,400. I'm not buying it regardless. So, I'm not the market for it just on that part. But I want to remind everybody we do have this up as an audio podcast as well. Tech Briefs. You can go there, hit subscribe, share the show, let other people know about it. We keep you up to date with what's going on in technology. And Lisa Marie, thank you so much for joining me today. Great job. Always good getting your insight. And I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me as always.